Never heard of it, but they do have sourced material here. And the headline says it all. Retail sales suffer from loss of extended unemployment benefits. Now, I submit to you, we would never have seen thinking this way just 20 years ago, much less would we have reporting like this. That retail sales, we don't see a story on retail sales affected by joblessness. No, we have a story on retail sales being affected by people no longer getting unemployment checks. Now, my whole point in the last hour, I want to sum this up for Mitt Romney. And I hate to say this. It pains me to say this. I can't tell you how sad it makes me, but I don't care. Reality is reality. And the economy and its condition is not an automatic win-win for Romney or the Republicans right now. It just isn't. And Snerdley's looking at me with an expression of disbelief on his face, and I'm sure many of you are too, because that's so revolutionary. It was only back in 1992 where it's the economy stupid was the reason Clinton won. And I'm here to tell you that the economy today is worse by factors of geometric proportion than it was in 1992. I had calls in 1992 from people saying it can't get any worse, Rush. I had guys that I play golf with at various clubs I belong to, educated, successful businessmen, Democrats, telling me in 2004 it can't get any worse, Rush. Well, it's worse by factors indescribable, and the same guys are still telling me that we got to vote Democrat to fix it because it's all Bush's fault. The sad truth is, and the Romney people are going to have to learn this right now, the sad truth is that employment is not pivotal. The unemployment rate, the jobs circumstance in this country is not pivotal, and it's not something Obama can lose the election on. Not by itself. It's not something Romney can win. What do you mean, how can I say that? I'll tell you how I can say it. We have 48 million Americans, 47 million on food stamps, and the regime is advertising for more. We have 48% who pay no income taxes. We have 3 million more off the unemployment rolls and on disability rolls, and they all vote. What does it add up to? No jobs, no employment, no problem. And that's no job, no employment, no pain for a whole heck of a lot of people whose expectations for themselves are not very high. You have food, you have a car, your cell phone, and a TV, and you're set. It's Snerdley shouting at me, all those people can't want to stay on food stamps. Would you explain to me then why more people are getting on food stamps? Exactly. What else do they have? There are no jobs, and yet they're still eating. I'm telling you, it's a new reality out there. This is something that's been gnawing at me for over a year. Every Thursday, I come here with these unemployment numbers, and my instincts have been telling me, and I've been fighting my instincts. My instincts have been telling me that nobody cares. Because it's not resulting in that much pain, not nearly as much as it used to, not nearly the kind of pain that existed in 1992. When Bill Clinton runs for re-election, it's the economy stupid. Worst economy in 50 years was the campaign slogan. The economy today is worse by factors that I can't even quantify. And it's accepted. It's seemingly accepted because the so-called victims of the unemployment circumstance in this country are not suffering as unemployed people in the past did. And not that I want them to. It's not even about what I want. I'm just dealing with the reality here. Now we've got stories, retail sales suffering because unemployment checks have ended. Not retail sales off because of the jobs circumstance. Retail sales are off because the government isn't giving people any money anymore. Now, you couple all this with the way minds are wasted in the American education system today, the way they're polluted, propagandized, whatever you want to say. Yeah, that's true. Clinton had a Perot out there helping him. Romney's not going to be helped by a Perot type. I'm just saying that there's an architect of this circumstance, and he's got to be identified. His name's Barack Obama. That long checklist of things I went through last hour that you have to do to ensure 9% unemployment is a long list of things. They can't all be coincidental. They can't all be accidental. Obama has an economy that is almost as bad as Herbert Hoover's economy. And I realize what percentage of people in this country even know or care about Herbert freaking Hoover. So here I am drawing an analogy. Herbert who, Rush? All they know is he's a Republican, so he sucked. There's a lot of stuff that we're up against here, and simply, my only point is relying on what traditionally has always worked is not going to get it done. The polling data indicates it. Then there's the other part of me, though. The other part of me says if the election were today, it would be a landslide with Obama sent out of town so fast a cloud of dust he wouldn't be seen in it. I still think that's possible, probable. But during Herbert Hoover's day, there wasn't any welfare. There wasn't any relief. Most of that came in with FDR. And FDR still won, ran, I don't know how bad it was. Of course he did, because with Hoover, there were people jumping out of buildings. Now the scam. This is interesting. Scammers are committing a particularly painful form of identity theft, and they appear to have hit on just the right formula to trick tens of thousands of victims. They are capitalizing on the heat wave and the power outage in the North. And by the way, forgive me here, folks, but Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, the suburbs, we would have to say that's our national capital. You might even say it's the capital of the world. And we still have people without power after a week. In the United States of America, in our national capital, it's a different day. We can't restore power in over a week in the area surrounding the nation's capital. We Americans can't get that done somehow. Got to be a union involved. But that's another thing. Here's what the scammers are doing. These criminals are marching across the country and focusing primarily on areas where the power has been out for quite a while. State to state, knocking on doors, telling people that they are from the government and that they are offering a special federal government assistance program that they are describing as a bailout authorized by Obama to pay their utility bills. The victims are offering their bank account and bank routing numbers. They're giving those numbers away so that these people can, on behalf of Obama, pay their utility bills online. But only after they register by surrendering their Social Security numbers and other personal information. They're going door to door where people have been sweltering in triple-digit heat and saying they represent the government, the Obama administration. And because of this disaster, there's a new Obama bailout to pay their utility bills, which will help prevent bailouts or prevent power outages in the future by making sure that the power companies are flush with money. So two things are happening here. A, people are being scammed, but the way they're being scammed is that these criminals are approaching them and saying, Obama, federal government, Obama is seeing to it that your utility bill is going to always be paid so you don't have to. That will help your utility company always stay online because they will be flush with cash. So people are giving up their social security numbers and their bank routing numbers, account numbers, on the premise that Obama is going to be paying off their electrical bills. Now, these scams have been around since the beginning of time. These scams have been around since there have been human beings and criminals and so forth and so on. But I have to admit, it pains me how easy this is probably working. Because people will believe that Obama has bailed out a utility company and is bailing them out. Because that's what Obama wants them to believe. That's what his presidency means, bailouts of the people who've been screwed in this country by the profit seekers and by the corporations and by the power companies. There is no such utility payment assistance program. It doesn't exist. It's been created out of whole cloth. Electricity users seem to be falling for it everywhere, making it one of the most successful scams in recent times. Last week, 2,000 people in Tampa were tricked. The local utility company there is TECO Energy. There were more victims in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Indiana, New England. Utility firms in Utah and California reported similar scam epidemics earlier this year. At least 10,000 people fell for it in New Jersey in recent weeks, according to Public Service Electric and Gas. We see scams once or twice a year. A handful of people fall for them. This is crazy, said Sylvia Wood, the Tampa power company spokeswoman. She said about 2,000 customers tried to pay their bills with bogus account information traced to the scam within a 24-hour period. So what they were told was that they're setting up accounts that Obama's putting money in, and you pay your utility bill from that. And all you have to do is give me your social security number and your bank information, and that's how we'll set it up. Obama cares for you. Something like this being done in my name, I don't know, I'd be embarrassed, angry, all those other things. Obama sits there going, all right, it's working. It's working. Now, of course, there's a solution for all this. LifeLock, one of our sponsors. If you were a LifeLock member, for example, they've got LifeLock Ultimate now because this is typical. People are going for their criminals. The identity thieves are going for bank accounts now, not just social security numbers. This story illustrates it. If you became a LifeLock member, for example, you could give these scammers your information and it wouldn't work. You'd be protected because what would happen is you'd get a call, you'd get a notice that somebody was harping around in your account and you'd get a call from somebody. Is this legit? At least you'd have a chance to shut this down. If you're a LifeLock member, that's what they do so well. 800-440-40. I'm just throwing this in. 800-440-4833. LifeLock's a great bunch of people, a great sponsor, and they help protect against this kind of stuff, and it does work. It's been proven with me over and over. Save 10% by using my name, Rush. Number 800-440-4833. All right, let me take a brief time out here. We'll come back, and either we'll get to the phones. Yeah, it's Obama Stash. Obama Stash originally was used to get you a house in Detroit. Obama Stash was used to get you a new kitchen in Tampa. Now Obama Stash is paying off your utility bill every month and making sure that your utility company never loses power because it's never going to run short of money in the future. because you can't pay. We'll be back. Don't go away.